Well, my boy's car developed an oil leak. So we're going to do a fix and some preventive maintenance on this car to keep it from ever doing this again with the PCV valve. Coming up next. I know what you guys are thinking. You're expecting to see black Subaru, panels being cut out of it. And we got the welding gas in over here. We've had some bad times here at Jeffreyrigged. If you didn't know, Hazard, Kentucky, where I live like 20 miles south of there, got hit with some massive flooding. And we got a little bit of water here. It just got up in the yard and around the house trailer out here in the back of the shop, but it didn't get in anything. Got up to the bumper, the LTD, didn't hurt it either. So we were spared, but we went without power for a couple of days, all kinds of stuff. So, and as you know, if you've watched me from the beginning, you know I lost everything in 22 to flood when I lived the other side of Hazard. So, it was bad times, scary times. But anyway, his car developed a leak, and I've got to fix it. So, I'm going to take you along that journey. I'm going to put a valve cover on it. We're going to do the PCV mod, because that's what really causes problems with these cars. And a lot of new cars, actually, the PCVs they try to do everything they can to get every little bit of emissions fed back into the car to be perfect for emissions. And it really hurts them more than it helps them. And that's what happens with these cars. It happened similar with my wife's Equinox she had before. She had this Kia, and I had to drill it out and make it bigger and all that stuff. And this one, they've got a way to reroute them. And I'm going to do that while we're in here. But we're also going to change the valve cover on this little thing and the oil filler neck, because it wants to leak too. And that should make this car run forever. If you've got one of these little 1.4 turbos that's in any GM, this is how you fix it. It's coming up right now. As you can see under here, spitting oil. And it broke down on us and we tried to glue it right here. Actually, one of the local garages did that. Didn't do anything wrong. They were just trying to fix it because it spilled and they couldn't get one of those that day. But it's got JB Weld on it, but it's still spitting right there, as you can't see. So to get it off, the whole valve cover is going to come off now. I've got a new one of these. This stuff was not expensive. I think we're like $40 or $50 for everything. Amazon, Jungle website, whatever it is. So first things first, we'll get some Torx, take the plugs off and all that, plug cover, and start pulling this guy apart. Now, I believe these are going to be T30s, and I'm right. So, first thing, we got to take this little cover, these bolts out of this cover. Try not to strip them. And they're not in there real tight. I think this thing was 97 inch-pounds for everything, torque settings on these. So we're just going to do everything by hand to get this guy off. Now I don't know, like the valve cover, these are captive bolts, but I don't know if these are. So we'll find out once I take this guy off. Yeah, these are not. Okay. We'll go get a metal tray and we'll slap it up here to make sure we don't lose anything. Now these are like the inverted Torx here that hold the valve cover. They're all captive inside the new valve cover. I'll show you that in just a second here. This guy, and that should be your plugs. If I can get it up. Yep, here comes the plugs. Get something pry under that. Get something pry under that. Pop that up. Slide those right there. Get a pair of pliers. That'll work. Well, I thought it would work. Yeah, there we go. And there's your plug boots out of the way. And you can just set those right there. And the plugs look pretty good on this car from that thing. There's no oil down in there. So next thing I need to do is go get the Torx for this. And I'm going to have an extension, obviously, to get in here. So we'll go get them, and then we can pull this valve cover off. This valve cover is pretty simple. And there's a little trick you can do right here where the timing chain is. Make sure it doesn't leak, a little extra gasket maker. We're going to put that on too. But let me get that. So I didn't mention a while ago, this one is a T30 to take the plugs out. And this guy is an E12, which is basically an inverted Torx. I didn't actually know these were called E's. Got an extension. This is probably longer than what I need, but it's the first one I grabbed. It gets the job done. So. And that's all those are. That's how tight those guys are. These things, when you put them back in, make sure you don't over tighten them, because you will crack this. Now I'm not doing these in any sequence, taking them loose, because it really doesn't matter, because I'm going to take this whole valve cover loose. And this guy can pop out. This. Figure out that one comes apart. Okay, I see. It just cracked on me. Yep. I believe that one can be left alone, because it's above it. Okay. We'll see. I believe that one can be left alone. These are all out. This little tab right here slides out somehow. Yeah, right there. And I'm not going to take all this stuff loose, because I can get it snake it out behind it. Get all this loose. Now this car is a 16, but you'll notice it's the old body style. And you know, I know what you're thinking. Hey, I thought they changed these in 16. They did. They made both body styles in 16. So, if you're having trouble finding something for a 16 that don't fit it, go get a 15 if it's this old body style. Little tip there. I know we were looking at like the LED tail lights, and they only said to a 15. I was like, well, I wonder why they only fit a 15. This is a 16. And I went and looked, realized that they changed these cars in 16 to the new body style. However, they made both kind of like they did the full-size trucks a few years. Alright. That ain't in there. Nope, that's inside the engine. Got one. Just need to spin these guys a little more. You a little more. Yep. Spin you a little more. Okay. Feels like everything's loose. I'm gonna have to go get a crowbar to pop this guy up. I ain't really worried about if I break this one. but I don't want to. But I don't like to break anything if I don't have to. Well, that might have to come off there. Okay. I haven't really figured out how it comes off there. See tabs on it. Probably take a screwdriver and pop that out. Get a screwdriver. Pop that guy out. We'll fight with this longer than I am anything. There we go. Okay, so you just gotta press them real hard. About break them. That went back in on me. It did too. Well, they got the wire in there so tight, I don't know how they expect you to. Get this one back loose. This one was a lot easier. That one's loose. Alright. There we go. So that's out of the way. Alright, let's see if I can get something to get under this. I don't know if a screwdriver would do it. Let's go get a crowbar. Pull the dipstick out. I'll lay you right there for safekeeping. This guy should be ready to pop out, but I don't know what kind of gasket maker they've stuck under it, or that ain't gonna do it. Let's find a crowbar and pop this out. I can get right there. Yep, she's moving now. They've filled this up with gasket maker. You can tell by feeling of it. Not just a little. Let's get it loose. This one loose right here. There we go. Alright, and there it is. Gasket stuck right to it. Everything's clean in here though. That's a good thing. Let's get something to clean this gasket up. There's that one. Here's all that. This gasket off here now. As you can tell, it's stuck pretty good. Alright, so all the gasket was gone on this car. It was hard as a brick. I couldn't hardly get it loose. But we got everything loose now. You gotta clean this a little bit up. Let me go get some brake clean, carb cleaner, something like that. Wipe that down. Get any of this little residue off from the gaskets. May have to take a little bit of a wire brush and clean that up just a little bit, but shouldn't take us but a second here. Yep, I got some parts cleaner right here. We'll clean all this up. And let's bring that right off. Hey, got it pretty good. Let me go ahead and get some gasket maker, and we'll put a little bit right here and here, and we'll bolt the new cover on. So the gasket maker, you just put a little bit right here where the timing case meets the block. We're gonna go do that now. And a lot. But this is what was recommended to do. And it'll come out of there. A bit right there and a little bit right there. Hey. So I got this on, and then there's a sequence you're supposed to do it, and I know you start here. But I'm gonna go get that on my phone and come right back before we put all this, tighten this up. So this bolt right here is number 1. And you're supposed to do them 97 inch-pounds. I could probably do it. I can do this by feel. We're just gonna snug them. Like that. Call it good. This one right here is number 2. That's good. And this one's number 3. Right there. Four. 5 right here. Where's 6? This is 6. And this is 7. And this is 8. Now I'm not putting a lot of torque on these. These are 97 inch-pounds, so it's like 8 foot-pounds. I'm just doing them till I feel like they're tight, but not over tight. You got a plastic intake here. 9. You're number 10. I would follow this torque sequence. I wouldn't just go in here and tighten them up. There's 11. This guy's 12. There's 13. And this guy's 14. And this is 15. And this is your last bolt right here. All right. So all that's done. Now I've got to go get the filler neck and put in it. It's real simple. I'll show you how to do it. Now here's the filler neck. Now I'm going to put a little oil on this O-ring just because I don't want it to tear going in here. Just a little bit. This is all it says is an O-ring with 2 tabs. And that's pretty much it. Let's set this so it don't spill. Alrighty, so, and I don't think there's a difference on them. And that's it. And that's what holds this in. I think it's supposed to do this side though, because this little tab, yeah. There we go. That little tab right there holds that down. And that's that. I'm gonna put some oil on this O-ring too, because it's super tight. Alright, so it's got all that. We'll put the plugs back in, hook all these wires back up. So there's that. Alright, now let's get the bolts for the plug cover. I got the Torx right here. You already get my ratchet laid over here. Laid it down right here just a minute ago. Oh, fell on the floor. Okay. So anyway, as I was saying, my ratchet, like so. Get the other side and put it in, and I'll tighten them up both. Now, there's a little plastic cover that a lot of these got on it. Andy's had a crack in it. I just took it off. So, that's how you put the valve cover in. Now we're going to look at the PCV modifications. And this ain't too bad, but we're going to go ahead and knock that out too. Alright, so for the PCV on these cars, I went ahead and bought the cruise kits. Now, it's a pretty nice setup, and if you want, but here's the thing, I'm going to be 100% honest. I bought a $78 kit. And realistically, you probably could do this yourself. Piece these together. But, you know, it comes complete and everything here, so I went ahead and bought it. And realistically, all it is a couple pieces of hose, a little plug, some pipe clamps, and a check valve, and just some tees, vacuum tees. So, now the instructions on this is online too, I think. So I'm going to go get online, pull those up, but I'll film it while I do it. Alright, so this is where the PCV lives on these cars, right here. You can see it's a nice oily mess. Now there's a check ball down in there that wants to stick, break, and that's what causes problems with these cars. What they're thinking was the check ball under low pressure would feed back into here. Well, it breaks. High pressure, and it's just a thing just to get every little ounce of oil that might be squirting out in the atmosphere, like just a mist. Well, that breaks, it feeds it back in here and puts too much pressure into the engine. So what this does, it deletes that check ball, reroutes a few things, and eliminates all that. So you might get a little more oil out in the atmosphere, but it doesn't damage the engine. It's not going to be like an ounce of oil. It's not going to be like anything. It's just going to be a little mist. But the way emissions are today, they just want to make it so hard for these cars to try to, I don't know what the word I'm looking for these cars to try to survive and stuff. They want to make every little ounce of emissions put out. And you can't really do that with a combustion engine. Can't really do it with anything kind of engine. So by doing this will eliminate any kind of further things pushing oil, because basically what happens is this thing is pushing too much pressure and was pushing it out here and breaking the gaskets and things like that. Now, I looked down in here, and just as I suspected, the check ball's gone. And it's a little hole, I mean a pinhole. It's probably an 1/8 inch hole. But this little check ball is gone, it's broke out, as I suspected. So we're gonna clean this out first thing. And then we'll go in and glue in this fitting. Then we'll start rerouting all this stuff. And one cool thing they did give you with these cruise kits, they give you this thing to clean it with. And it looks like it goes on the end of an impact. Anyway, what I was saying is they've got this cool little fitting that comes with it, and what this does, now I clean it right out. Yep, now I can see her in there real good, and definitely see that the check ball's gone. So they also give you this little screwdriver. And this little screwdriver, I know what you're saying. What you're going to do with it is you're going to take it and put a piece of glue on the end of this, a little glue tab on this little plug, and it will glue it in. So first things first, we have to mix up some JB Weld, as you can see. And JB Weld, if you never use JB Weld, it's simple. Equal parts, it's an epoxy, just equal parts. And the thing, mix them, stir them together with something like an old zip tie, stick, whatever you got laying around. I'm going to use a zip tie because that's what I got laying around. I've got a bunch of ugly green ones here, and yellow ones, and a neon. I'm going to do it right in this thing right here. Here, let me put you down here and show you what I'm doing. Alright, so these things, so you just pierce the top. Until these are mixed, these will not be solid. So, put a squirt of that. And it don't take a lot. Same with the white. There we go. Now, let me get a zip tie. We'll mix this up. That stuff stinks. I have like tons of these. And I didn't buy them. I don't know where these came from. Tons of these. I think somebody gave them to me. Neon blue zip ties. They're uglier than sin, and I'm never going to use them. But they're good for this. Now, when it gets silver, you're mixed. Okay. Alright, let's let that sit. Now, this stuff dries up pretty fast, but not that fast. So, alright. So, I use these little glue tabs, and you put those on the end of your screwdriver. Alcohol pads, prep pads. No way I can put an alcohol pad down in there. So. And they give you two of these little plugs, but all they are is these guys right here. And you take this 97-cent screwdriver they give you. These glue tubes are supposed to stick to it. It's not really working so well. There we go. Down the end of it, put that on the end of the screwdriver. Like so. Alright, now we got that all glued up. Now I'm going to flip you up a little bit. And I'm going to take this down in here. You're not going to be able to see me do this, because I can't even see me do this. Get my phone out here. That'll help me. Get some more JB Weld on it. Got it. All right. Okay, so we got that. Now all we got to do is reroute the hoses. And I'll have to go and figure out all the rerouting procedure, but it's not very hard. And I'll come back out and show you all those. All right, so now we're going to put this thing together. I had to go in there and look at the instructions, remember how to do it. But it's pretty simple. So basically all you're doing is putting a T in this pipe, and this pipe's going to be took out. I got to take this boot loose right here. I'm going to go ahead and put this together first. So let me go get some WD-40 spray on these, get these in here, because I'm not sure I could do it with my hand without it. Get that. Basically, this cruise kit, you take the big fat hose, you drop that where you can never find it again. Where'd it go? Anyway, spray a little WD-40 in there. And flip bottoms out. Anyway, what you want to do is bottom this hose out like I'm doing. More WD-40 on it. First you're gonna go. That's pretty good. Anyway, that needs to bottom out like that. And this clamp goes right there. I want to put them inside like that so they look nice. And then, same thing on this side. This piece of pipe goes here. And what this is going to do, this is going to replace all this. We'll have to take this boot loose. I'll show you in just a second. Okay. I don't like it. So there's that one. And we'll put a clamp on this one, like so. This is what you should have. And these will turn whichever way I need them to. But this is what you should have. And those two are like they need to be. Now, I'm going to get a knife. Okay, so that's what you get with those. And that's how those set. Now, I gotta take this boot loose, so that means I need to get a screwdriver. Alright, so anyway, that's like that. And then when you get a bigger screwdriver, take that loose. Where is that big screwdriver I had? Found it. Here it is. We gotta take this boot loose. Spin that boot around. This guy is clamping around a little better next time. It's got a split in it anyway. Look at that. Anyway, so look here. That was already broke. I could have been what was spitting oil. There you go. You unclamp that. And you see all this little tape, we got to cut it with a knife. Right here, these little tape lines, if you can see them. And cut all them. And then we'll take, and this piece of corrugated pipe's gone once that. And this guy, is a bar to pull off, I know. Well, I don't even have to pull it off. I might be able to do it. Yeah, we'll probably pull that off. Anyway, this is your turbo right here. This is your turbo blow off line, blows oil back. So, that right there cracked. Could have been a big problem with this car. Anyway, we can unwrap this tape. Yeah, yep. Unwrap this piece. We don't want to break this little vacuum line here. That's something we gotta have. So, move some of this junk out of my way here. Lay it on this box over here all the way. Anyway, that. That one. And that one. Alright, so this is your main PCV line. And you can see Andy's was broke right there. I didn't break that. It was already broke. So he could have had an oil leak right there too. I'm not sure. It's a good thing we're tearing this all apart and fixing it. What we got to do though is we got to take this and cut this and get these two fittings and this fitting right here out. And when we do, this rubber piece will go over these fittings on each side. And that will take care of that. Then we have this one, and I'll show you where it goes in just a moment. Alright, so these pliers are, these little fittings, they've got this like coating on them. It's like a heat shrink. Man, it's hard to get off, I'm not gonna lie. See what I had to do, I had to go borrow a box cutter off Dad because I couldn't find any. But you gotta just score it like I'm doing. Just keep doing it. Sooner or later, it'll bounce off. You can see it's starting to flake. And the bad thing about this is, got one more to do after this one. There we go. So that one's done. And we'll take another clamp, big clamp. Like so. And this one goes right here. So we'll put this big clamp on the pipe. And if I can hold on to anything. Fingers are getting kind of tender, so start using pliers. Make life easier. And we'll get that WD-40. We'll spray it down, slide this in. And this side's ready to go. If I don't die in this oil I spilled. You probably could, I think the better thing to use on this stuff would have been silicone spray, but I ain't got none. I ain't worried about it that bad. These are actually going in easier than the ones they send you. Whew, that's a workout. I about got it in there. Oh, if I can get that now way in. Show my weakness here. I have been sick for a couple days too, on top of everything that I've had going on. So, yeah, I might be a little weak, but ain't my fault. I ain't gonna go no further. Well, that guy ain't gonna go no further. That's just all there is to it. Oh, that ain't gonna go no further. That ain't gonna go no further. It's in there as tight as it's gonna go. I don't know why we're worried about it so much, because guess what? This is not a high pressure system. Anyway, that goes right there. This piece will go right here. And we just zip tie everything up when we're done. So let me get this piece off and wrestle with it. Then we're done with this part. Yeah, figure out what I've done with the box cut. That was extremely too hard to get off, but you have to mash these little things in as hard as you can and pull real hard. So, and this guy, like I said, this was already broke on this one. So, it could have been one of his oil leaks there. Well, same process, score it a couple times in the same slot. That one come apart a lot easier. Guess because it's on the turbo and it's a little hotter. Make sure you don't damage the one on the inside, like so. Sprays down with WD-40. Like I said, the guy online used silicone spray. I need to get some of that stuff. This is what I had, so we put this clamp on here, and this guy goes in here, like so. And it's going real easy. And there goes everything in the floor. Okay. Okay. Alright, now that one's done. That one's on there good. That one went in easier. Don't ask me why. Okay. So these two, this is all done. So this can go back in here, this can go back in here. I gotta pick up my mess I threw in the floor. Ow. Anyway, there is that. And I can't remember if it's before or after the check valve, so I'm gonna go check that right quick. But we have to cut this one of these pipes loose and put a rubber piece in between it, and then let's just tease into that. And this is done. So let me go get that and see which way this goes before or after this, because I can't remember. And then we'll do this one and we'll button this up. Okay, so it's right here where you cut it. So what I'm gonna do, cut it right now in half, like so. And then the same process we were doing with the scoring of the razor blade, we're gonna do on this. And that one comes off easy. There. And those two are done. Alright, so you'll have a short piece of pipe and a long piece of pipe. The short piece of pipe, cut it right down the middle. Okay. Yep. Anyway, put it on here. Get your small clamps out. You definitely have to do these with pliers. one. Get you another one. And you've got a T right here. Now you put this clamp on to this piece of pipe. With your pliers. And we're going to lube this T up. These probably be easier to get on. Okay. There you go. Now, another clamp. Take your other piece of pipe, lube it up. This side. Put a clamp on the other side. Like so. Push that in, clamp it. Done. Alright, last fitting. Put it like that right there. Lube it. Got one more clamp. We should have 2 more clamps, but I don't see them. Oh, they're in the floor. Okay. No, I've got clamps here. It's no big deal. Good. Got it right there. This piece can go back in. Alright, so that piece is done. You see how that's in there? Okay, so now we find the 2 clamps that I dropped and this big long hose. We take, should have 4 clamps. We have check valves here, and they give you a bunch of them. And the arrow feeds that way from the check valve. So you take, they want you to take 2 inches, and I'm just going to guess at it. That's about 2 inches pipe. The check valve's got an arrow on it, and you want it pointing away from the fitting here. Okay. Put this clamp on it. And I'm going to have to find the other 3 clamps here, so just let me a second. Okay, so that check valve's in there. Now I just gotta find some more clamps here. So now this check valve goes here, like so. Well, I forgot to put the clamp on. That didn't feel good. Anyway. There's that check valve, and all this part can go back on now. And I'm going to go ahead and do it. put this guy on. Yep. Just run this under here to look nice and neat. Really don't give you enough pipe here to do that. Let's go above. Would look neater, but oh well. The last piece of hose is it. And like I said, I've not seen the other two clips. Alright guys, so I lost the other clamp. I have no clue where it went. So I'm just gonna put a pipe clamp back on it. Works the same way. Looking for a bigger screwdriver. Gonna take that big one too. One more little tighten. Stab myself. That works. Alright, now we put this intake boot on. And I'm done with this stupid thing. Tighten this guy back up since I didn't. Oh yeah, I'm gonna make it look a little neater. But that's no big deal. Okay, some kind of cap that goes over the nut, over that. Why? I have no idea. They gave you a couple zip ties, but I'm not even gonna fool with them. That looks pretty good to me. It's done. So this guy, all right, so that's got Andy's car done. New valve cover, new oil filler neck, PCV rerouted. Hopefully this makes it run a very long time with no oil leaks. Realistically, I think the biggest problem with it was I think the gasket had just dried up. So these tools here for the night. I'll never pick them up again as I usually do because I never get no time. But that's got him done. Hopefully we'll be back on the Subaru next go around. Like I said, we've had some bad luck going on here. Could have been a lot worse for me. Keep praying for everybody. Keep helping out. Go watch, what's his name? I posted a short to it. Anyway, I posted a short to him. And go watch him. He helped him out get some money towards his flood. Automotive Adventures with Austin, I believe is his name. But anyway, I posted a short, told you who it was and everything. Go check out that short. Go help out the Eastern Kentucky flood victims. They're in pretty rough shape. Keep praying for them. Pray for everybody like that. Thankfully, I was spared this time, so I know what it's like. And just keep liking, keep sharing, keep subscribing, keep rigging things up.